The warm-up act.
Yes, the warm-up.
So I called the telephone number and this guy named Homer answered. And I said, do you really think it's possible that we could change things to bring peace? And he said, of course! And with such confidence and such ebullience, such joy, that I was hooked. I couldn't do anything else. I had to go meet him. And so I did, and I started going and working with them. There was the humanist movement, and they were working in the street, we were going to the street and talking to people about active nonviolence. And I was very shy, but I had to take this possible step. I had to see if this was going to help in some possible way, so I just plunged in and I started talking to strangers and saying, what do you think about the future? You know, how do you feel about the Cold War? What do you think of, what are your hopes? What are your fears? Have you ever heard of active nonviolence? You know, and it was like something happened, something started to change inside of me. And then one day, I woke up completely astonished and just filled with joy and gratitude because I was no longer afraid. And my fear had just vanished. It was gone, you know? And so I continued working with them, and I have never stopped. So finally, it was 15 years of these dead ends, and I just got more and more neurotic the whole time, until finally that day when I found Siloists, and everything turned around because I turned my energy around. I started moving my energy out toward others, to give the best of myself, like that poem that Ken read earlier, that we all have something to give, and we have to give it. If we don't, we go crazy. And you don't have to believe anything. It's just you go to the center of yourself, and that's where you meet everyone, the center of everyone. And it's just opens a new world where we don't have to be in conflict, and we can resolve our conflicts because we are really connected in the center. If they read his name somewhere, they would think it meant silo, and they wouldn't understand. So it occurred to me that since people like to read stories, that maybe I could write his story. So I said to some friends, I think maybe I'll ask him if I can write his biography. And my friends who knew him said, no, he's never going to let you do that, because he's a very humble man. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight, doesn't want to be in the center. But I wrote him an email, and the same day I got an answer back. And he said, yes, I think that's a good idea. That somebody might shed some light on all that twisted history. But he said, at the same time, he said, I'm not going to help you. And he said, you can't ask any family members. You can't contact my family. So, anyway, that was 14 years ago. And now, finally, we have a book. So anyway, and also on top of that, in the 60s and 70s, he was very controversial in Argentina and Chile, because the military and the church were in charge,
weil dort war
and there were the leftists fighting against them, and the right, the people on the right said that he was an extreme left person, and he was corrupting the children and brainwashing them because he attracted a lot of young people into his work. He was always traveling and organizing and inspiring hundreds of thousands of people. And his legacy, because he died in 2010, was very rich and varied. He launched the humanist movement with the Community for Human Development, which was cultural and social, and the Humanist Party, which was political, and the Center of Cultures, which was for all the people coming from other countries, and unify the cultures and celebrate diversity. A world without wars and violence, which inspired the World March for Peace and Nonviolence in 1929, and which had at least 1 million participants all around the world. And he also, out of his work also came this humanist journalistic organization called Presenza, and many other organizations and projects. And then he also, at the same time, from the very beginning, he had his school, which was like, the school of Socrates or the school of, any of those, Lao Tzu or whatever. He had his school. Which was for the development and preservation of essential human knowledge.
Für die Entwicklung und Erhaltung von grundlegenden menschlichen Wissen.
And then there's message, the Silo's message, which is a spiritual path for everybody. Doesn't matter your background or your belief or your lack of belief. And then there's the parks, all these parks. There's almost 50 parks in the world now. They keep building more. Tremendously inspiring and wonderful teachers. But what I think makes him unique is that he dedicated his life and his work to helping humanity pass through the eye of the needle of the crisis. This crisis that is now upon us, because the system has brought us to this point of no return. You can work on social and personal change at the same time. You have to. They go together.
Auf persönliche und soziale Veränderungen schauen. Die muss man nicht trennen. Man kann sie gleichzeitig machen.
Another thing was his attitude, his concept of reconciliation.
Eine andere Sache war sein Konzept von Versöhnung.
Because of course many old teachings like in Christianity and many other
Viele alte
religions,
Lehrer im Christentum und in anderen Religionen,
they always talk about forgiveness.
die reden alle über das Verzeihen.
And Silo said, well, forgiveness is better than vengeance.
Silo hat gesagt, naja, also Verzeihen, Vergeben ist besser wie die Rache.
But it's not as good as reconciliation.
Aber es ist nicht so gut wie Versöhnung.
Because with forgiveness, the people always say forgive and forget.
Die Leute sagen immer verzeihen und vergessen.
Yeah. And he said, no, do not forgive and do not forget.
Das müssen wir nicht verzeihen und nicht vergessen. Verzeihen nicht und vergessen nicht.
Because forgiveness suggests that one person is morally better than the other.
Weil Verzeihen schlägt dir vor, dass eine Person moralisch besser ist wie die andere.
And forgetting means you can't understand what happened.
Und zu vergessen heißt, du hast gar nicht verstanden, was eigentlich passiert ist.
And reconciliation
Und Versöhnung
means
heißt,
understanding deeply
zu verstehen, tief zu verstehen,
what happened in you,
was in dir passiert ist
what happened in the other.
und was beim anderen passiert ist.
If it was you who hurt yourself, who acted in a stupid way, or
Wenn du dich selbst geschadet hast, weil du dich blöd verhalten hast,
you have to understand that you were trying your best.
dann muss man halt verstehen, dass
Silo said, failure is the only way forward.
aber sie hat gesagt, Versagen ist eigentlich der einzige Weg nach vorne.
Because when you fail, then you want to change. You
Weil
want to improve.
wenn du versagst, wenn das kaputt geht, dann willst du verbessern, dann willst du nach vorne gehen.
And he said that the only way to move out of failure is on wings of intent.
Und er hat gesagt, dass der einzige Weg, der aus dem Versagen rausführt, ist auf den Schwingen des Versuchs.
Because that was what he did with his entire life. He
Das war
never
das,
gave up.
er